PlayStation 5 has been out for about 5 years now, and Sony just did their midlife console upgrades. So they released the Slim and now the PlayStation 5 Pro. This is typical, as they've done this for the PS3 and the PS4 as well. So I'm going to go over the difference between the two and try to determine, is it worth spending the money, the extra $200 to get the Pro, or should you just buy the Slim and enjoy that instead? So this is currently the Slim I'm showing you now. I wish I had my hands on the PS5 Pro, but I don't, unfortunately. So I'm just going to show you on the Slim. It is significantly lighter and thinner than the base PS5 that came out in 2020, the original. And as you see, they changed a few things on it, like the USB ports on the front are both USB-C instead of USB-A and C, and they added an extra port on the back for connectivity. So the internals are the same. They didn't change much other than maybe adding a full terabyte to the SSD, versus the original had 800 gigs, I believe. Other than that, the internals are the same. Same RAM, processor, graphics, and everything else. The PS5 Pro did get an upgrade on all of those things. So you have a better processor. It's slightly faster, a slightly faster graphics, and they added future-proofing things like Wi-Fi 7 and a better Bluetooth protocol. And also made the console a little thicker than the Slim, of course, to accommodate for the beefier graphics and processor. So the Pro is not much different than the Slim in terms of design, but it is slightly bigger and heavier, of course, to accommodate the faster processor and internals. Both consoles have a new feature, which is something I've always wanted, even in the base, and that is you can update the console's capabilities post-purchase. So in the past, if you bought a digital version, that's what you got. You could not do anything about it. If you wanted a physical or a disc drive, you had to buy a whole new console. Well, that's not the case anymore, as right now I'm going to show you how to upgrade the disc drive if you wanted to. So first you need to take off the panels. To do that, you face the console horizontal and then put the glossy part, which is the front, away from you. And then you pull up on the panel as you see there in the front area and just slightly tug on it and it will give way. Don't use too much force because it's not really needed. And yeah, just pull up the panels and take them off as so. So as it was in the original console, this is the underside. This is probably the power supply there. And you have the fan access for basic cleaning. So nothing new there. The original PS5 had that. So we're going to go ahead and flip it over and show you the other side. And this is where all the new stuff occurred. So once again, you just lift the panels up from the front. And then you take it off. And the first thing you'll see, of course, is the internal SSD bay. That's not new. That's been there since launch. But here is the new part, and that is the disk drive. You can now buy a modular disk drive, and you see the connector in the bottom left there. You insert it there, connect it, and the disk drive will come with a panel that will accommodate the disk drive. So the physical panel that you normally would see on the PS5, and you would replace the one that you just took off with that one, and there you go. You now have a physical version of the PS5, and that's a really nice feature. But as I mentioned to you earlier, both the PS5 and the PS5 Pro have this feature. So you don't need to get the Pro to take advantage of this modularity. And that's one thing that I have always mentioned whenever talking about the PS5 Pro, is that there's just not much of a big difference to warrant such a price hike that they have for that console. So the PS5 is still at the same $499 or $599. I'm sorry, $399, $499. So it's $400 or $500 for either the physical or the digital. But the PS5 Pro, which is only digital, is $699. So that's a $200 to $300 hike in pricing, but you only get slightly better performance and slightly more memory. You don't even get a disk drive for that version. So if you wanted to, let's say, buy the disk drive, PlayStation Plus, a headset, and of course a stand, because that does not come with one, you're talking about $1,000 just to get up and running on the PS5 Pro. Now, as you see here, I kind of struggle with the panels because these are pretty fragile. You don't want to put too much force on them and break them, because then it won't stick to the console, because these kind of use like pegs to essentially snap into place. So just be a little gentle. I kind of struggle lining it up, but all you have to do is line it up and just place it down like so and snap it back into place. Just don't use too much force because you don't want to break these. They're pretty fragile. So as I mentioned earlier, the PS5 Pro only has really internal upgrades, and I'm going to show you, once I put these panels on, I'm going to show you the catalog that is currently available for the PS5. This catalog is optimized for the PS5 Pro, and it's supposed to take advantage of the extra processing power, extra RAM, and of course the AI stuff, because the new consoles do come with upscaling AI to improve the fidelity and the smoothness of the games. So the catalog is rather short for now, and I hope that they update it as time goes on. But you're buying the console for the now. So I'm going to show you what I mean by, is it worth spending the extra $200 for the amount of games you can play that's going to be optimized and look a little different, feel a little different from the original PS5 or even this version here, the Slim. So let's go ahead and get into that catalog now. So I'm going to connect the PS5 and turn it on. And we'll go ahead and take a look at all the games that are currently supported to run on the PS5 Pro with its full capabilities. So as we boot up here, as I mentioned, the PS5 only has 2 more gigs of RAM, and it's really meant to make the interface run smoother when you're playing games. So now we're just going to go into the PlayStation Store here. You're going to go all the way down and you'll see a PS5 Pro catalog here. So when you click it, you're going to see all the games that are currently patched for the PS5 Pro. Keep in mind, these aren't new games. These are games that came out during the PS5 era and have just been updated to take advantage of the extra RAM and processor and graphics. So this is what you're paying $200 for at the moment. Otherwise, you'll be playing just the regular PS5 games, and just like the regular PS5, it's going to kind of run everything the same. So as you see here, the catalog is really short. It's probably less than 50 games in this catalog here, and that's all you get for the PS5 Pro when you buy that console. These are all the games that are patched currently as of January 2025. So that's one thing that a lot of people are wondering. It's like, should I spend the $200 and take advantage of that small catalog, or spend $200 less and just play all of these games that I'm showing you here? I mean, look at all of these games that have come out since the PS5 was launched. So many games here, and you get access to them whether you're on the Pro or the original PS5. So that's the problem that Sony's kind of running into, is it worth spending the $200 for that extra processing power when developers might not even take advantage of it? So the answer for that currently is a big no. Save your money, buy a headset, buy more games. You need PlayStation Plus, as I'm showing you here, so you'll need to buy that. So just save yourself the money and buy all these things and just have a good experience for less money, essentially. Now, the answer may change, let's say a year from now, when the console's been out for a year or two and developers actually have time to take advantage of it. Hence, GTA 6 is one of the big titles that's expected to come out later this year. I'm pretty sure they're going to now spend time developing for this PS5 Pro. So we'll see how that is handled and how well that game looks compared to the PlayStation 5. And I think that will give us an absolute answer on whether the PS5 Pro was ever worth it or not. When games like GTA 6 come out, that will really give us a determination, and maybe then will it be worth spending the extra $200 for the slight bump in performance and connectivity. So that's my thoughts on the PS5 Pro. I think you should save your money. Just get the Slim, get the accessories and PlayStation Plus you need to get up and running. The PS5 Pro is just not worth it right now. Maybe in the future, or if it goes on sale, it will be worth it. But for now, just save your money and enjoy the PlayStation 5 experience for a little less money. We'll see when November of this year, 2025, comes around. We'll see if that answer changes, but I highly doubt it. So that's my take on the PS5 versus the PS5 Pro. I hope this helped you. If it did, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe and help me out. And I will catch you in the next one. Peace.